Welcome back to English 10 series lecture 8. In this 10 series we are going to learn English tenses or revise if you want to English tenses in a very innovative and creative way. Today's class we are going to study about past perfect continuous tense. Past perfect continuous tense होता क्या है, उसको कहाँ इस्तेमाल करते हैं, किस तरह हमें पता चलेगा कि where to use past perfect continuous tense. आज की क्लास में हम ये सब देखेंगे. So what is past perfect continuous tense? Describing long ongoing actions before another past action. अब past की ही बात हो रही है. The tense is always staying the past. There are two actions. One past action complete होने से पहले एक long ongoing action था जो कि चल रहा था. Past tense में उसको describe करने के लिए we use past continuous tense. Past perfect continuous tense. So what is going to be our today's goal? By the end of this class, you'll be able to form sentences using had, been, and first form of verb with ing and describe actions that were in progress for a duration before another past event. एक और past event होने से पहले जो long ongoing actions थे उनको describe करना आपको easily आ जाएगा. So let's see what is actually the past perfect continuous tense. होता क्या है? The past perfect continuous tense expresses an action that started before another past event and continued for some time until that event occurred. So let's see some examples. होते कैसे हैं ये? I had been studying for 2 hours when she called. Or they had been working all day before the storm started. So let's discuss the structures and practice those structures of different sentences of past perfect continuous tense with the help of some examples. The first sentence is affirmative sentences. Affirmative sentences are also called positive or simple sentences. Let's see what's the structure. It always starts with subject followed by had, been, and then first form of verb with ing that's used in continuous tense and object followed by time expression. So for perfect tense we had taken had लिया है perfect tense से and first form of verb with ing and been form continuous tense. तो दोनों को मिला के हमने बना दिया past perfect continuous tense. वो actions जो बहुत टाइम से जारी थे और उनके बाद कोई और action मुकम्मल हुआ उसको describe करने के लिए past perfect continuous tense. So let's see some examples. I had been reading a book before dinner. She had been cooking for 2 hours before guests arrived. They had been working hard before the exam. Looking at the negative sentences, let's see what's the structure. Subject followed by had not been or hadn't been and then first form of verb with ing followed by object. Let's see some examples of negative sentences. I hadn't been feeling well for a few days. He hadn't been studying before the test. We hadn't been living here for long before we moved. These were negative sentences. Let's move to interrogative sentences that are also called question sentences. So the structure is had comes at the start of the sentence followed by subject, been and first form of verb with ing followed by object and ending the sentence with a question mark. Let's see some examples. Had you been working all night before the meeting? Had they been waiting for long before the bus arrived? And had she been crying before you met her? Similarly, if you want to use question words like how, which, where, when, who, you can say how long had you been studying before the exam? Or you can also say where had he been living before moving abroad? So, looking at the auxiliary verbs used in this tense, only had been is used as auxiliary verb In past perfect continuous tense सिर्फ had been यूज होता है and had shows past connection. वो actions perfect tense में had यूज होता है. Had show करता है past connection and been shows continuity. तो been हमने continuous tense में यूज किया था with first form of verb with ing. तो had perfect से लिया और been continuous से लिया, मिला के बन गया past perfect continuous tense. Let's look at some examples. She had been teaching for years before she retired. And I had been sleeping before the call came. This was all for today's class. There's a difference between past perfect and past perfect continuous tense. Let's see what's that. For past perfect tense, actions finished before another past action. एक past action से पहले दूसरे actions खत्म हो चुके हों तो हम past perfect tense यूज करते हैं. अगर action continued हो before an other past action तो फिर हम past perfect continuous tense यूज करेंगे. So let's look at some examples from past perfect tense. She had cooked dinner before they arrived. और past perfect continuous करना हो तो she had been cooking for 2 hours before they arrived. So the action was not completed when they arrived, इसलिए perfect continuous. Focus on result. It's past perfect tense and past perfect continuous होगा तो focus on duration of action. अब focus क्या है past perfect tense में? Focus result है. एक result आ गया. Past perfect continuous, on the other hand, emphasizes that how long the work had been going on before the other action happened. This was all for today's class. In next class, we are going to study about future indefinite tense. Future indefinite tense is also called simple future tense. It's used for expressing actions that will happen in the future. Stay tuned to learn more about future indefinite tense with WITSOL.